Hello friends and fellow riders, senior speed here. So what are we looking at? Are we looking at a little bit of damage on the glove? Yeah, we are. I'd say we're looking at a decent amount of damage on the glove, wouldn't you? Yes, and here's the other glove. We'll come back and examine those a little bit later. But right now I want to show you something. It's here on the Sedici suit, and my riding partner was so kind as to decide to take a fall for us so that we can see how this suit turns out. Okay. The fall, he went down about 50 miles an hour, probably about 60 something miles an hour. It was on the left side, and it was a low side where the rear tire kicked out from underneath him, and did what it would appear that happened here. Let's go back up under here so we can really show you this really quickly. So the liner on the inside held up, but the outside of this obviously did not. You can see the liner right there. Okay, you can see the liner there, but this part of the seat, when he went down on the left side, did not hold up. Let me rotate this around out into the light so you can see this a little bit better. Okay, so there we go. Let me step back for a minute also so that you can see an overall view of what's happening here. Okay, so what we got was, like I said, we got a low side, but he didn't want to just have the left side have all the fun, so he involved the right side also. That's pretty much where he came to a stop by the time he hit the rocks and the gravel in the runoff area. So as we look back at this suit, we can see that he spent some time on his back, and you can see there on the speed hump where that leather held up. The leather held up also there in his hips. There's extra leather on the inside of these suits. We have some stitching that looks like it started to wear out. If you look at this stitching right here, and then you come down and you start to see this stitching there, as you can see some of the parts of the stitches wore out from the slide. Also, we can see the trim, what happened with the trim here. Yeah, okay. And the inside here where the stitching went out, but the leather held up, which is something that is the most important factor. The lining, his skin was on the inside of that lining, so not in this pocket here where I have my hand, but it was obviously on the inside, so he was good to go there. No abrasions whatsoever for him as far as that is concerned. If you take a close look right here on the left side, you can see the lateral scrapes, and you can see that there are none on the right side. As the same carries up here to this part of the damage. Same situation. Okay, so we have that, and he rolled over a few times. Is the report. I didn't see him. I was in a different section of the track, but he rolled over a few times. Some people said he tumbled for a while, so at least he's an equal opportunity faller, which is very important. I'm joking right there, folks. Please understand that. All right, little ambulance humor. Okay, so here we have another aspect that I want you to see on the knee. Down here in this area. Okay, Pucks took up some of the hit there. On the inside of this one, this is his left leg. So we see that too, the left knee. So pretty much he dealt with everything on his back, more so than anything else. And that's a good thing. Now the other part to all of this was the fact that, of course, he was wearing a back protector. It was one of my Alpine Star level 2 back protectors that he was wearing. So that was good. And he slid and he tumbled. So you can see as you look at the abrasions, the way that is set up, the discoloration of the leather, it was a low side. Now let's go back to the gloves. So we have this, and this is obviously the right glove for the right side. And as a matter of fact, I think I'm going to work over here in the sun, direct sunlight here, so we can see a little bit more of this. All right, as a matter of fact, I'm going to pause this for now and start again just a second. Okay, I'm back and we're in sunlight now. So you'll get a chance to see things a little differently. All right, so we notice a few things. I want to just point those out right away. They say we learn all the things we need to learn in kindergarten and first grade. One of these things doesn't look like the other. One of these things is not the same. So what we have right here, obviously we have thread that has come undone. And if we look on that same section, you can see what part it is that got damaged on the right glove. Okay, so we see that was coming apart right there. Okay, and that stitching on this side did not, just because of the type of impact that it was. This guard, this guard is in place to hold the, to protect the extra strap here. It's like a 3-point system on these gloves. You have a 2-piece flap on the glove and a third Velcro strap that goes across to hold it securely on your wrist so it doesn't slide off. Well, the good news is it didn't slide off. The other good news is that this flap did what it was supposed to do to the degree that it could. I did not see exactly how he had the gloves on, if he had the flap down or if he had this strap over the flap. It doesn't look like it to me, but the way you would examine this as he went down, obviously this took a lot of damage. As you can see, it took a lot of damage, and the seams started to separate right there. You can see that there. So we have that, but it didn't go all the way through, but it came up as he was sliding. And you know, you have to keep in mind that this is not something that a person normally does. Decides like, oh yeah, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just go ahead and fall down and scrape stuff up, and because I'm bored and I have nothing else to do. So you figure you got about a 60-mile-an-hour get off here, and this is what you end up with. So there's that side. Okay, let's look at the other side, then I'll open these up, and then we'll also go to the boots here in just a moment. But we're looking at this side. As you can see, it's a little bit different over there and there on the knuckle. So the TPU held up and did its job. It didn't separate. That's what we want. The sliders did their job and they slid, so that's good. We have some separation right here at the thumb, another impact point where you put your hand down. You know, here this is your left hand. Boom, right there, right? So that went down. You're sliding on that TPU on this part of your hand right over here. So there's that. You can see the fingers and the striations there of the lines of the direction of the slide. You can pretty much see what's going on and how they mimic each other on the other sides, because you put your hands down and you're sliding. Okay, so there we have that. This one came apart also right there. So to me, since both of these are the same as far as the damage is concerned to them, I am going to say that that's a weak point in this glove, and they're going to have to step up their game. That's a serious weak point, so we can't have that. The other side, nowhere near that wasn't the issue. He wasn't sliding in that manner. So it was a controlled fall as you take a look at this, and as controlled as it could be. Or let me put it this way. It was a managed fall, mitigated. He did as much handling of his slide as he could once he got oriented and figured out what he needed to do. Okay, so now let's take a look at the boots. This is the right boot. And as we recall, I was telling you, he went down on his left side. But this is the right boot. Okay. All right. So we see what we've got going on there. This was obviously from the time that he spent on his right side, on his back. Where on the suit you see his right arm. I guess that's what he finally used to slow down as he came to a stop. And now let's look at the left boot. Okay, and here we have the left boot. This was the initial. And as you can see, there are a lot of things that are going on here. A lot of telltale signs of some stuff. For instance, these deals right here, these I don't know, they're decorative holes that are there. Like here they are on the right one, and as you can see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. And on this one, I challenge you to find more than 4 of them. Okay, so you can see pretty much the direction that he was sliding in as he was moving forward, and he went down on his left side. Now, in comparison, I can show you one that has not been damaged. Oh, and we also have this up here. So let me show you one that has not been damaged. Be right back. Okay, I am back. So here we are, used but not damaged. Yes. So you can get an idea on how to gauge the probability. If something happens and you have these boots and you go down, at least you'll know what they do, what they tend to look like, and how they tend to hold up. But there were no physical injuries to my riding partner. Life was good. He was able to just function as normal. As a matter of fact, he went back out and rode again. He went back to the tech crew. They inspected the bike. I don't have that here to show you, but of course there was tons of damage on that side of the bike. The tab on the shifter lever broke off. Fortunately, it wasn't an aftermarket set. It was a stock set, a factory set. But yeah, the tab broke off there and that type of thing. But nonetheless, he was able to, like I said, get right back out. After a round went by, he went back out and rode again, and life was great, and everybody was having a good time as usual. So we like that kind of thing, but at least you get a chance to realize what was happening. The forearm, this is all stock padding here, so the forearms held up in the padding, but yeah, you can see here where he went down, you know, there, and you can see the discoloration on that side. But this was the initial get off on the left side, okay? And so that hand went down on the left side. That's the first thing to contact. The hip is the next thing that's going to contact, or simultaneous contact actually, on the hip right there. So you've got that happening. And this is where he was possibly trying to sit up or what have you. And this is what you get while you're still moving. So there we have that. So that tour. And the suit is repairable if he chooses to have it repaired. But there you have it. Okay. So here we are at senior speed, and I just want to close out this video by saying we crashed so you don't have to. Senior speed is out. Oh, by the way, almost forgot. Rubber side down, shiny side up, folks. Be safe. Senior speed's out.